Okay, we start now. Everyone can see the slide I shared. We, you can. Okay. Yeah. Now, today we continue chapter 4, right? And the last time we stopped at the factor reducing benefits of outsourcing to third party, right? And today we continue risk of using the third parties. Okay. Uh, you know, for example, Boeing, right? Boeing, that's one of the world's last aerospace company, right? That's faced a major crisis due to outsourcing the productions of certain aircraft components. As a result, was the sheer of crowded planes and significant finished this is the losses. And while outsourcing offer numerous benefits such as cost reductions and increased efficiency, right? And this also come with inherent risk that the businesses must carefully consider. And now we will go into the common risk of outsourcing and provide strategies that mitigate this risk, right? First, the risk you can see here, that is fixing broken processes in-house. Before outsourcing, your company should conduct detailed assessments of their internal processes, overlooking internal problems and rushing into outsourcing can get worse existing issues and lead to unforeseen consequences, right? For example, fashion companies like Zara or H&M, for example, right? That's decide to outsource its manufacturing to reduce costs. However, they soon realized that the qualities of a product from the supplier was inconsistent, for example, right? Leading to customer complaints and return the products. That's the root causes was the company's lack of a robust quality control system, right? Another risk you can see here, that is the underestimations of coordinations cost. That's outsourcing involved to more than just transferring tasks to third party. Coordinating with external suppliers can incur significant costs, including communications or integrations and management of overhead. For example, uh, uh, technology companies, Howshot is a software developed to foreign firms due to time zone differences and language barriers. For example, there were constant delays and misunderstanding. That's a result in projects overrun, right? And another risk you can see here, that is the reduced customer supplier contacts. And outsourcing can lead to reduced direct contact between the manufacturers and customers. Okay? And when the third parties act as the intermediary, this can dismiss the customer supplier's relationship, right? And loss of internal capabilities and increase the third party power at supply chain functions. That is outsourced, right? Third parties can develop expertise and gain more influence. And that shift in a power dynamic may result in a third party carrying these newfound powers in ways that are not always aligned with the manufacturers. That is the interest, right? And for example, you can see the companies outsource the IT functions, for example, right? This may become overly dependent on the third-party provider. Uh, that is the outsourcing, when outsourcing the third-party, that is become to more power, right? So- and another risk you can see here is leakage of sensitive data, right? So, of course, sensitive data are information, important information. That is very important, right? There's a leak of data and leak of information to the supplier or to the third party. That is very important problems. Because many businesses handle sensitive data, such as customer information, right? Private company data. As an trusting this to third party increases the risk of data leakage, security breach, right? For example, credit card information, for example, right? Companies outsource part of its operations that may expose sensitive information to potential leakage, that's breaching sub, the substantial risk, right? And ineffective contracts, that is another risk, right? These ineffective contracts can pose a significant risk when outsourcing. If a contract term do not incentivize the third parties to make an improvement to reduce costs, it can lead to unsatisfactory outcome, right? Another risk here, that is the loss of the supply chain visibilities. That means, introducing the third party often result in a loss of visibilities into supply chain operations. This can be harmful, particularly for complex supply chains. For example, companies outsource logistics may struggle to track shipment and resolve issues, right? And the last risk you can see here, negative reputations impact. A significant risk arise when third-party engage in activities that damage the reputations of the manufacturers. This is especially true in regions with less strict regulations. For example, manufacturers are outsourcing their production to factory with poor working conditions can face public reaction, for example, right? Mm. Give me a second. I would like to take a picture on the glass and report to university first, right? Thank you. Wait. Okay. Now continue. This is global sourcing, right? Uh, we will explore the reasons behind global sourcing. So that's the benefits, right? And some challenges of the global sourcing. So one of primarily drive for global sourcing, that is the opportunity to benefit from the lower labor cost, right? For example, in Vietnam, for example, in China, that's a low labor cost. But nowadays, that's higher and higher as the day by day. So low-cost countries often offer skilled labor at fractions of the cost found in the high-cost regions, right? And another reason, so you can see here, that is expanding the supplier base to low-cost country, increase the number of potential sources. That is, diversities can help mitigate the supply chain risk and disruptions. Uh, and low-cost countries may have access to the elastic products and processor technologies, right? Leverage these technologies can enhance the product qualities and production efficiency, right? Another reasons you can see here that is establishing the supply relationships in the international market allows the companies to have a local presence. Now that's the cloudness can facilitate market expansions and reduce market entry costs of our challenges for low cost country structures. And next reason, that is identifying reliable can capable suppliers in a low cost country can be challenging, right? Due to deletions is important to ensure supplier meet the qualities and compliance standards. Protecting intellectually uh, property, for example, right, becomes important when sourcing from the foreign suppliers. Safeguarding technologies and design is important to prevent intellectual property theft, I think, right? And another reasons you can see here, uh, that is navigating the international trade regulations, uh, custom, tariffs, right? Can be very complex. That is challenges, right? And organizations must have to good understand import and export regulations. Overcoming language barrier, time zone differences, and cultures, that's essential for effective communications. You can, miscommunications can lead to misunderstanding and disruptions in the supply chains. And ensure the security of goods in a transit is a concern when dealing with the international suppliers. The risks as, for example, theft, for example, damage, custom delays, right? That's must be addressed in the global structure, right? And the last challenges, that's global sourcing that often involve a longer lead times due to shipping, right? Due to transportation. So because it's a far distance, right? Then supply chains must manage the inventories and production schedules to account for these delays. And now we discuss about total cost of ownership, right? That's very important tools for supply chains professional to make informed decisions about sourcing goods and services. Because when we uh, procurement, we procured some material, for example, that you not focus on only the price, purchasing price. You need to focus on the total cost of the sale because purchase price, that is the tip of the iceberg, very small, and total cost of ownership, that is the underwater of the iceberg, right? These are hidden costs. These are so huge. So we need to consider about total cost of ownership. So what is total cost of ownership? Right? This slide will explore total cost of ownership. What is total cost of ownership and how to control it, right? For example, total cost of ownership emphasize the importance of looking beyond the purchase price, right? Let's considering the all the costs associated with the, for example, acquisitions, ownerships, post ownership, right? By conducting through the total cost of ownership analysis, you can optimize the supply chains. You can reduce the hidden costs, right? You can build more resilience. You can build more cost-effective sourcing strategies, right? That's why the purchasing price, that is very important factors. Total cost remind us that it's only fractions of the overall cost when sourcing goods, sourcing services from the suppliers. And now we will delve into total cost ownerships. That's the components of a total cost ownership, right? That is the significance in the making informed supply chain decisions. Total cost, that is total cost, that is comprehensive evaluations of all costs associated with the sourcings, a good sourcing services or from the specific supplier. It's encompasses the cost incurred from the initial acquisitions through the ownership and even the post-ownership stages, right? Ownership stages and post-ownership stages. Uh, for example, acquisition cost, that is a ownership, right? Ownership stages. This is a direct cost associated with the purchase of materials, right? Purchase of goods from the suppliers to the buyers, right? And making them to ready for use. That is the acquisition cost. For example, that's acquisition cost that includes a supplier price, taxes, right? Duties cost, right? Delivery cost, for example. That is the acquisition cost. Uh, and ownership cost. Ownership cost, that is on the cost incurred after the acquisitions, which are necessary to keep the materials, keep the goods in usable conditions. For example, ownership cost includes inventory holding cost, right? Warehousing expenses, manufacturing costs. That is the ownership cost. And how about post ownership cost? What is a post ownership cost? Post ownership costs refer to expenses incurred when the finished product reaches the end customer, right? This may include the warranty costs, uh, include environmental costs. For example, there is disposal costs or recycling the products, right? That is the cost for recycling. There's the reputation cost. There's the post ownership cost, reputation cost, damaged reputations, right? And other costs for global sourcing. You can see here, this is uh, in the context of a global sourcing, right? Uh, there are additional factors that contribute to total cost. These factors include exchange rate fluctuations, local inflation rates, right? Uh, uh, Variations in the labor cost in the different regions. Right? Total cost have organizations make more informed sourcing decisions by considering the on-cost components. They can choose a supplier that offer the best overall value, and not just a lower purchase price, right? Total cost analysis, reveals hidden costs that may not appearance when only consider the purchase price. Identifying addressing the hidden costs can lead to significant savings, saving the cost, right? As the total cost allows for more comprehensive risk assessment by consider factor like warranty costs and consider factor like supplier reputations, and that is the risk cost, right? Reputations, supplier reputations, that is risk cost. Reduced risk in the supply chains can prevent uh, unexpected expenses or prevent disruption of the supply chains, right? Total cost on analysis help in the evaluating and compare supplier based on their overall cost effectiveness. Because we can choose the supplier based on the purchase price only, right? We can see the total cost from many suppliers, and we can choose the suppliers with the total cost ownership is the lowest, right? Total cost of ownership is very important. That's enable organizations to build a stronger and more sustainable supplier relationships. You can see here that is total cost of ownerships for uh, many total cost ownerships. You can see on the table. The table provides a comprehensive overview of the various costs associated with the supply chains, from procurement of raw material to post ownership costs, right? The table that is divided into three main columns. Uh, you can see here. Uh, Give me a second. And give me a second. I have a error here. Yes, you can see the arrow here. Okay, no need. Okay, the table you see. Uh, this divided into three main column, right? The first column, that is the performance categories, and that is the define the types of costs. These are categorized into acquisition costs, ownership costs, and post ownership costs, right? And The second columns you can see here, that is categories components. That is a list the specific elements that make up each type of cost. And the last columns, that is a quantifiable. Quantifiable. That is you can count it, you can measure it or not, right? There is a assess whether each cost can be measured quantitatively or not, right? Okay. uh, Details explanations of each section you can see here. For example, acquisition cost, that is supplier price, right? That include labor, materials, and overhead costs. Or supplier terms, that's the net payment terms, delivery frequencies, minimum lot size, quality discounts, right? Uh, Taxes and duties, that's the on tariffs and compliance costs, right? Um, Delivery cost, that is on transportation cost from shops to destination packaging cost, right? And here you can see incoming quality cost. And that is cost of inspection or defective or uh, rework the, the products, for example, right? That is the management cost. That is cost of managing, cost of the planning, cost of purchasing, for example. And you can see ownership cost. Ownership cost includes the inventory cost, right? Warehousing costs. Inventory costs include the raw materials, inventory work in processes, uh, inventory finished good, right? And sometimes in transit inventories. In transit, that is a good or materials on the ship, for example, right? For example, you uh, buy some material from China to Vietnam, and the materials on the ship from China to Vietnam is a week, 1 week, for example, right? That is in transit inventory. Okay. Warehousing costs, that's materials handling costs to support the inventories in the supply chains, right? That is warehouse costs. And manufacturing costs, that is the additional manufacturing costs associated with the shop part, right? Shops and materials. Right? There's a production quality cost, impact of a shop part, shop material on a finished product quality, and cycle time cost, impacts of a shop part on the production cycle time, for example. And you can see on the slide, uh, under, you see, post ownership cost, that reputation cost, uh, for example, reputation's impact of a quality problem, for example, right? Warranties and product liability costs, warranties, product liability costs associated with a shop part, the materials, right? And environmental costs, that's affected by shop part, right? And supplier capabilities, for example, is replenishment, lead times, on-time performance, right? That is flexibilities, information, coordinations, capabilities, design coordinations, capabilities, supplier viabilities, for example, right? And that is supplier capabilities. And quantifiabilities, you can see here, that is mm, some some costs we can uh, quantifiable. For example, cost that can be measured with a specific number of data, such as money, right? Time, for example, lead time, we can measure by the time, for example, 1 day, 2 days, or 1 month, or 2 months, for example, right? That is can measure. And some costs is difficult to quantify. For example, costs are related to qualities, costs related to reputations, or environment, right? And that's often difficult to measure accurately with a number of data, right? And significance of a table. You can see this table have a business to gain a deeper understand of a cost structures. Let's recognize detailed cost and within the supply chains and assess the supply chain's performance, compare actual cost to bucket the cost and identify areas for improvement. Uh, uh, this table make the optimal decisions, select the suppliers, right? Decisions, choose the transportation methods, decisions, manage the inventories, and this table have to develop the cost reduction strategies, right? And that's a fine way to reduce cost in each stage of the supply chain. So the supply chain cost analysis table, that's the valuable tools for businesses to manage the optimized cost, enhancing operational efficiency. Right? And now we next slide, that is the designing the sourcing portfolio. So you can see here. Okay. Yeah. So explanations of a comparisons table, responsive versus low cost sources. That's mean the responsiveness and efficiencies, right? You remember in chapter 2 we discussed already uh, comparison table, right? Uh, between the responsive and low cost source. The table usually provides a comparative analysis with two primary types of supply sources common use in the manufacturing and the business. And that is the responsive sources and low cost sources are efficient sources, right? Each type of the sources has its unique characteristics and is suitable for different types of product and services. You can see responsive sources here. Characteristics of responsive sources that is, for example, ideal for in early stage of their life cycle when the market demand is uh, that is changing. That is the uncertainties and subject to change, right? Capable quickly responding to changes in design qualities and quantities of products and require high level of flexibility, creative innovations from suppliers. And advantage, you know, that is the enable business to quickly introduce the new products to market and respond flexibility to customer demand and reduce risk associated with rapid market changes, right? And disadvantages. Production costs are typically the higher compared to low cost sources that require more complex production management system. Uh, and low cost shocks, you can see the columns of low cost shocks here. Characteristics of low cost shocks. This is suitable for products is a major test of their life cycle, right? And when the market demand is stable, and that is the products are standardized, right? And this is a major test. That's a maturity is a test, right? Focus for low cost shops, we focus on the minimize the production costs and maximizing the productivities, right? That's require supplier to have a large scale operation, uh, advanced production technologies, for example, right? And advantages of a low cost shops that is help reduce production costs, right? And increase the profit margins and ensure the stable supply of the products with a high demand. But some disadvantages you can see here. That is, for example, slower to respond to market changes. That is reduce the responsiveness, and of course we need to chase off, right? And less flexibilities in modifying product designs, for example. Okay, next slide. Uh, I would like to make sure you can hear me clearly or not, because I think it's a signal is sometime not good. And Kim Ngân, you can hear me? Okay, that's good. So this table compare the three different sources strategies, right? That is onshore and nearshore and offshore, right? This term refer to geographical locations when a company sources its products, um, sources services from the third party person, right? And onshoring, this means sourcing products or services from within the company's own countries. For example, your company is in Vietnam, that is uh, you shop the material from the Vietnamese companies in a Bình Dương, in a Đồng Nai. No, Bình Dương is must with Ho Chi Minh City, right? There's a Đồng Nai or uh, uh, Đà Nẵng, for example, right? That is own your own country, some of your own country. So that is onshore sourcing. And nearshore sourcing, that's the inbound sourcing from the neighboring countries countries in the same regions. For example, from Cambodia, from Laos, right? Thailand, that is the neighboring countries, right? That's the offshore sourcing. This refer to sourcing from distant countries. That's often across the oceans. Right? For example, from India, from Korea, right? And that is offshore sourcing. The table compare these three strategies based on several factors. Mm, First, you can see rate of innovations. Uh, that's a product variety, for example. Right? Let's refer how quick products are changing, how many different types of products are being produced. Right? Onshore things that's often associated with a high level of innovations and products varieties, while offshore sourcing that is typically is associated with lower levels, right? And the second factors, and that is the demand volatilities. Volatility. So that is changes quickly, right? That is demands uncertainties. That measures how much of the demands of a product fluctuates. And that's the onshore and nearshore sourcing are often used for products with a high demand volatilities, as they allow the faster response times, right? Or labor content refer to amount of labor required to produce a product. And offshore sourcing is often associated with a high labor content, uh, as the labor costs are typically lower. For example, China, for example, Vietnam, for example, Pakistan, for example, right? And that's in many offshore locations, right? And volumes are way to value later. Others measure the size and weight of the product relative to value. Right? Products with high volume weight to value ratio. That's often shopped offshore to reduce transportation costs. And impact of supply chain disruptions, another factor, right? That is referred to the potential impact of a disruption to the supply chains, such as, for example, natural disasters like a storm, like earthquake, for example, right? Potential political instabilities that is a very important factor for disruptions of the supply chain, right? Nowadays, we call this policies of a Trump 2.0, right? It's a very, very important for uh, restructure of the supply chains all the world, right? All sorts of things that is generally the less uh, s- susceptible to supply chains disruptions. And another factor you can see here that is the inventory cost, refer to the cost associated with the holding inventories, right? Onshore sourcing often result in a higher inventory cost due to a factor such as a shorter lead time, for example, right? Higher transportation costs, right? And engineering or management support refer to level of engineering and management support required for the products. Onshoring sourcing typically require high level of engineering and management support, right? So you can see on the table, that's the onshore sourcing that is often associated with higher level of innovations, higher level of flexibilities, uh, higher level of quality controls. But it can onshore be more more expensive, right? And need for balance between cost and control, and can be good option for companies that need to respond quickly to changes in demand. And offshore sourcing, that is typically the most cost-effective options, but it can also lead to longer lead times, lower qualities, and increased supply chain risk, right? So the choice of sourcing strategy depends on a variety of factors, includes the nature of the products, the company's strategy goals, specific needs of the customer person, right? And by carefully consider this factor, you can select the sourcing strategies that best meets their needs, best meet the supply chain needs, right? Here we can see the specific case, that is Zara sourcing strategies. Mm. Zara, that is famous companies in a fashionable way. Zara Taylor instead of the sourcing portfolio feature onshore, nearshore, and offshore strategies. Zara, that is a leading example of how company customize with the sourcing strategies by applying responsiveness sourcing and low cost sources, right? Effective combined onshore, nearshore, offshore sourcing based on product characteristics, right? Uh, Responsive sourcing for fashion related items. Mm. Yeah, that is just onshore or nearshore for responsiveness, right? Yara shops fashion related items from, for example, Europe, right? That is onshore or nearshore to meet the fast changing, right? And that is customer demands and maintain the flexibilities. While for fashion related items, Yara use responsive sourcing because product life cycle of fashion related items. Uh, Fashion items, mm, those are in early phase with a rapidly changing style, right? So product life cycle is very short, right? And another factor uh, for their sourcing nearshore or onshore for fashion item, that is the demand volatilities. That's the demand uncertainty is very high, right? High demand uncertainty requires suppliers who can adapt quickly. Because you remember chapter two, we discussed very clearly about strategies uh, for responsiveness and efficiency, right? Uh, that's a that is a high demand uncertainties. We need to that is adapt quickly to the market. So mm, we need to shop saying onshore or nearshore. So, that's very suitable. And another factors affect responsive sourcing because it's a demand volumes. It's a low demand volumes per style prioritize flexibilities over economies of scale, right? That is the low demand volumes, low volumes, right? Because of fashionable, it is not too high volume. That is the low volume. So, and product values and obsolescence. Obsolescence that is very important to reduce the cost, right? That's the fashion items that have a high product values, but also high risk and obsolescence as a chance fade quickly. And the last factor you can see here that is qualities and design support. Uh, Proximities to design teams in Europe ensures a high quality standard and quick adjustment, right? That's the impact onshore on nearshore sourcing to reduce lead times, enabling Zara to launch the new collections within 2 weeks. That's a critical for staying ahead in fast fashions. And you can see here for uh, low cost sourcing for basic products. That is offshore. Yara sources basic products like t-shirts, right? From the offshore facilities in, for example, Asia, to focus on the cost efficiencies. While low cost sourcings for the basic the product like t-shirt, for example, because the product life cycle is long, right? Basic items are in the major phase with predictable demands. Is easy to demand. That is not uncertainty. Demand is not uncertainty. This is slow uncertainty, right? Demand uncertainty is low uh, and makes a low cost of production viable, right? And demand volume is a high demand volume that benefits from the economies of scale, product values, and obsolescence. That's the basic items that have a low product values and low obsolescence rates. And that's making cost efficiencies priorities, right? Qualities and design approach as a basic product require minimal design adjustment suitable for offshore productions, right? That's offshore sourcing that enables Zara to achieve a significant cost savings while maintaining the steady supplies of steady essential items. So using Zara balanced approach, right? Whereas sourcing strategies effectively combine onshore and nearshore and offshore sourcings to align with the product requirements, right? Fashions items that leverage the onshore proximities for aligned with the responsive sources, right? And basic products, there are off for offshore sourcing to maximize cost efficiencies and scale, aligning with the low cost sources, right? These strategies allow Jira to respond quickly to change, control the cost, and maintain competitive edge in the global fashion market, for example, right? This is a sourcing strategies project framework, right? Project metric, project framework. That is a strategy tool, right? And that uses procurement and supply chains management to classify purchase items into four categories based on their profit impact and supply risk. This metric helps you prioritize the purchasing activities has developed the appropriate strategies for managing different types of suppliers. right? Two axes of the matrix you can see here. Value of span to the firms. That is y, right? Y axis. Y axis. That's the value of span to the firm. This axis present the financial impact of a purchase item on the organization profitabilities, right? And the X axis, that's the level of supply risk, right? This axis represents the risk associated with the supply of items, such as the number of suppliers, complexities of the supply chains, and the availabilities of substitutes, for example, right? And you can see four columns of a project matrix. For example, the strategic items, that is above and right, the quadrant, right? Uh, that is for this quadrant, uh, we have some product with the high profit impact and high supply risk, right? These items are uh, very important to organization success and have a significant impact on profitabilities. Uh, for strategies of these items, that means we build a strong and collaborative partnerships with the suppliers. That is a strategic partnership in this case, right? This item require close monitoring and strategic management due to the high risk and impact of the uh, uh, materials, right? And next we have on the left side, that is the leveraged items. Leveraged items. Uh, this quadrant, you see, with a high profit impact, right? And low supply risk. That these items, have significant impact on profitabilities, but there are many suppliers available. And strategies, you see, strategies here, we use competitive uh, bidding, right? Competitive bidding to negotiate the best price or best terms with the suppliers, right? Let's consolidate the purchases to increase the buyer power, right? And under, you can see on the right side, we have a bottleneck items. That's low profit impacts and high supply risk, right? These items are critical for operations but have limited supply sources. For strategies of these items, let's develop the multiple sourcing option, explore the substitutes, invest in building relationships with the suppliers. Right? And some item that is a non-critical, we call it non-critical items. That's on the left side, right? Uh, with the low profit impact, the low supply risk both. And this item have a minimal impact on the profitabilities, uh, readily available from many suppliers. You can buy it everywhere, right? So, strategies for these items, let's simplify the purchase processes. Let's use electric electronic catalogs, for example, or consider vendor managed inventory, for example, right? And metric metrics have you something like prioritize purchasing activities, right? By identifying the most critical items and allocating resources accordingly, right? Developing the appropriate sourcing strategies, tailoring the strategies to the specific characteristics of each item categories. And this metrics help you build a stronger relationship with the suppliers because focusing on strategic items only and developing the collaborative partnerships with these suppliers, with the strategic suppliers only. That is a build stronger relationship with the suppliers, right? And reduce costs and improve the supply chains. You can see by leveraging the buying powers and simplify the purchasing the process for non-critical items. Yeah. Okay, we finished chapter 4 here. And next is chapter 5. Because chapter 5 we have some exercise. I want we discuss chapter 5 is in the offline class, right? Online we can do exercise. Very difficult for uh, doing exercise with the online class. So now we go to chapter 6, please, right? Okay, everyone, you can see the slide I sent already. Lê Nguyễn Phú Cường, you can see. Hello, Cường.
Yes, I see.
Okay. Yeah. Now we start chapter 6, distributions and transportations in the supply chains, right? In these chapters, we will discuss about distributions and transportations, right? Because transportations we discussed very clearly the subject, international transportations and insurance, right? So maybe we through very quickly in these chapters. So the roles of a distributions in the supply chains. First, we have definitions of distributions. Uh, what is distributions? Distribution that is a process of moving and storing products from the supplier to the customers in the supply chains, occurring at every stage, right? This directly impact the supply chain's cost and customer values. Key players in distribution, such as, uh, for example, Walmart, right? Walmart and Bách Hóa Xanh in Vietnam, Bách Hóa Xanh, Vinmart, like that. Does it exemplify the success achieved through the outstanding distribution design? Distributions, that is a uh, crucial driver of profitability, influencing the availability, cost, customer responsiveness, right? Phases of distribution network design. As we have two phases. The first phase, there's a visualizations of a supply chains and network structures. Okay? And the second phase, and that is the conversions of structures into specific locations. That is considering the capacities, considering capabilities, demand allocation, for example, right? As an objective of a distributions network, that is a distribution network can achieve various supply chains objectives from low cost to high responsiveness. That is the we need to check off, right? Between the low cost, that is efficiencies, and high responsiveness, that is flexibility, that is agile, right? And companies in the same industries often offer different distribution network based on their objectives, right? Industries example, this is diverse distribution models. Uh, Companies have adopted varied distribution models in to enhance efficiencies and profitability. So below global and Vietnam, Vietnamese example, for example, uh, direct distributions. We have Apple, right? Apple use the Apple stores, right? And online sales to control customers' experience and maximize profit margins. VinFast, VinFast Vietnam, VinFast Vietnam, sell electric vehicle through the company's own showrooms. Right? That's the uh, they can use the digital platforms, ensuring brand consistencies and customer engagement, right? That's very fast. Another fields, another industries, for example, retailers and reseller-based distributions. For example, HP computers, that is sell through resellers and retail chains ensure wide market coverage, right? Vietnam, we have FPT Retail. That's a leading the technology distributors selling via the physical stores and e-commerce to reach urban and rural market everywhere. Right? That is distributions of FPTs in Vietnam. And another field, for example, hybrid model. Hybrid model mixing direct and distributor sales, right? For example, P&G that it distributes through the large and small supermarket, optimizing global and local supply chains, right? Or Masan's consumer in Vietnam. You know Masan's? And that deals wholesalers, supermarket, traditional market. That is combined. That is a hybrid model, right? And so deep market uh, penetrations, right? And some company, that use e-commerce, digital-driven distributions only. For example, Amazon has a lead in the e-commerce logistics, right? And so fast deliveries with a vast warehouse network. And in Vietnam, we have a Tiki, Shopee, right? Focus on the fast deliveries, integrating the warehouses and the last mile logistics for agency. And that is a Thai's distribution model, right? And the importance of distribution choices, uh, you know, that's the in the abbreviated distribution network can negatively impact the profitability. As seen in failures of the companies like Blockbuster or Grab, for example, right? That's the right distribution network and enhance the supply chain surplus by meeting the customer needs at a low cost. Right. And performance measures in a distribution network design. The next sections we focus on identify the performance measures crucial for designing an effective distribution network. Right. There are some factors influencing the distribution network design. You can see here. Um, Evaluation dimension, right? As the distribution network performs, as evaluated based on two main factors. That's the value to provide it to customers and the cost of meeting customer needs, right? And meeting customer needs at the optimal cost or directly impact the profit, profitability of a distribution network, right? Uh, Here you can see customer customer value that is influenced by various factors linked to the distribution network structures. That's including response times. That's how long are customer willing to wait for their orders, right? From the order the product to they receive the products, right? That's how long that's willing to wait. And uh, product varieties. That is the ability to offer multiple product choices. For example, multiple colors, for example, multiple size, right? That is the multiple product choices. And product availabilities ensure the products are in stock when needed. Right? Uh, Another factor linked to the distribution network structure, like customer experience, very important, right? You remember example of the diamond supply chains. That is Blue Nile and P&G, right? P&G's have a customer experience is higher than the Blue Nile, right? That's the enhancing service quality through our supply chains. And time to market. That is ensure product reach the customer on time. So that's time to market, right? And other visibilities, customer ability to track the shipment in a real time. So, like, nowadays, that's you can track the shipments in real time everywhere, right? And return abilities. That's flexible returns policies. That's increase the customer trust, right? And some checks of in customer references, you can see the customer prioritize different factors based on their uh, preferences, right? For example, some customers are willing to wait longer for a wider product selections, while others prioritize fast delivery systems, right? And impact on facilities and locations. Mm, Companies that serve a customer willing to wait longer can operate fewer large facilities that's farther apart, right? Farther apart. On the other hand, some companies, serving the customer who demand fast response time require multiple smaller facilities located closer to their market, right? That is according to facility locations. And another factor, that is supply chain costs are affected. And the trends in the distribution network design impact the various supply chain costs. For example, inventory costs, right? That is the adjustment in stock level based on distribution strategies. Or transportation costs, and that may increase decrease depends on the network structures. Facilities and handling. The expenses are related to warehousing, packaging, other processing. Are affected, distribution affected information, right? And that's the investment in a tracking and investment in a supply chain management system, for example, right? That is affected informations and relevant to supply chain drivers. The choice of the distribution system that is not only influenced by customer value measures, but also by sourcing strategies and pricing policies, right? And these interdependencies will be explored further in the next discussions, right? And you can see here, now that's factor influencing the distribution network design. The distribution's network design is influenced by two major dimensions. First, that is a service factor and cost factor. Second, right? This key element determines how efficiently distribution network meet the customer need while managing the associated costs, right? You need to balance between the cost and meet the customer needs. Service factors. Service factor, for example, you have response times. A response time, that is a service factor, right? That is refer to time required for the customer to receive an order. Companies must balance between the customer expectations and the cost of achieving faster deliveries. That is lead time, right? Balance the customer expectations and the lead times. Cost for lead time. Uh, Cost for lead time because the short lead time is a high cost and long lead time is a low cost, right? You need to consider, you need to check off. And another factors, another service factor you see here, that is a product varieties. That's a number of different products configurations offered by the distribution network. As for example, uh, colors, the size of the product, right? There's balancing varieties with the efficiencies. There's major challenges for companies serve diverse customer references, right? Another service factor that is the product availabilities. These are related to the mm, probabilities of have product in stock. That's the our status, right? Uh, that's when the customer place an order. Is a high availability is very important for ensure the customer satisfaction, right? And customer encompasses the convenience of placing or convenience of receiving order. Uh, Customizations option, right? Experience aspect of the product. As a positive customer experience can significantly enhance brand loyalty. Or another factor for service that is the time to market. This is a time needed to introduce the new product to the market. In industries with rapidly changing trends, reducing time to market provides a competitive advantage. For example, in fashionable, right? Uh, um, Fashionable industries on, you know, technologies industries. It's a very quick changing trends. Uh, so time to market is very important. Another service factor that is the order visibilities. Abilities of customer to track their order, right? From the placement to delivery. And transparency in the order process and increase the customer trust, customer satisfaction. For example, nowadays we can use the GPS, right? GPS to trace the products, to track the products, right? And the last service factor that is the returns abilities, returnabilities. And that's the reflect how easy the customer can return unsatisfactory destroys the product. That is a damaged products. Some products they don't want to buy it, right? That's the efficient return process is very important for customer focus the businesses, right? And some cost factor you can see here. This above we list on the service factors and some cost factors you can see here that is affected by the distribution network design, distribution model, right? For example, uh, inventory cost. This includes storage cost, insurance cost, the risk of obsolescence, right? Obsolescence that is reduce cost, reduce the price of a product for a long time, right? As it's an obsolescence. Yeah, balancing the inventory cost while ensuring product availability is very important. And another cost factors that is a transportation cost. The costs are associated with the move a product within the distribution network, right? That is the optimized transportation strategies that contribute to cost efficiency, and that's the same. Cost factors affected by the distribution model. And distribution model that is affect the facilities and handling costs. These are costs of operating distribution centers, right? That's managing the product handling. That's effective warehouse management, reduce costs while maintain the service qualities, right? And the last one, we have information cost. Information cost that is cost factors affects by the distribution model, right? It refer to a cost information system supporting a distribution network, investing the technologies that involve visibilities combinations and can lead to overall cost savings, right? So well-designed distribution network effectively balance service and cost factor that ensure efficient customer satisfaction, right? And you can see here that is some model, right? Some model, uh, some model of distributions. Uh, First model we have the direct shipping. Manufacturer storage with stored at the manufacturer factories and shipped directly to the customer. Urban order placement, right? This model eliminates the need for retailers to hold inventories, reducing the storage costs and improving the product varieties. However, you know, it may lead to higher transportations and longer delivery times due to the fragmented shipment from the multiple manufacturers. Effective information system and other combinations that's the essential for managing this supply chain model efficiently, right? And let's explore how many manufacturer stories with direct shipping impact both cost efficiencies and service qualities in the supply chains. You can see here cost factors performance, inventory cost. That's one of the biggest advantage of this model, that is lower inventory costs due to aggregation, right? That's products are stored at the manufacturer's facilities, which allows economies of scales, especially for low demand and high value items. Low demand items and high value items, right? Additionally, if customizations can be uh, postponed until the final stage, it can streamline the productions and improve the cost efficiency, right? However, transportation costs tend to increase in this case, right? And because the products must travel longer distances. Also, since the shipment are disaggregated, uh, there may be higher shipping cost per unit, right? And facilities and handling costs, these costs, are usually lower due to centralized storage. If the manufacturers can efficiently manage small shipment ship directly from the production line, additional cost saving can be achieved, right? And information to infrastructure cost, you can see on the table, right? That is a strong information system is necessary to ensure the seamless the coordinations. That is between manufacturers and retailers, for example, right? There's an investment in a real-time tracking and order management system. So that is very important for success of this model, right? And service factor performance. Service factors, uh, that is the on cost factor we discussed above, right? And now that is the service factor performance. For example, response time, that is service factor, right? Response time, that's when delivery times are usually longer, right? That's ranging from the 1 to 2 weeks, for example, right? And that's due to longer shipping distances and multiple processing stages before the product reaches the customer. And product varieties or product availabilities. That's a key advance of this model. These are higher product varieties, higher product availabilities. Since the inventory is aggregated at the manufacturer storage, right? It's easier to manage the broad product selections and minimize stockout, right? And another service factor here, you can see on the table that is the customer experience. This home deliveries is a major benefit of this model. However, if a customer order multiple products from different manufacturers, may receive a partial shipment at a different times, right? That could affect the customer satisfactions and time to market. That is a service factor, right? Products are available as soon as the first unit is produced, providing the competitive edge, for example, right? There is a fast moving industry, right? And another service factors, performance like order visibilities, tracking the product, tracking the shipment, right? Tracing the shipment. For example, based on a GPS nowadays, right? In the past, we use RFID, for example. RFID, that is radio frequencies, right? And that's nowadays we usually use the GPS tracking the shipments. It's more changes this model, right? Um, but that is crucial for customer service. This investing in a real-time tracking can significant improve customer confidence, right? And another service factor performance you can see on the table that is the return abilities. That's return process tend to be more complex and expensive for this model, right? Direct shipping, manufacturers direct shipping, right? That's making it a less convenient for the customer. So manufacturers stories with the direct shippings, uh, this model, right, offer a strategic trade-off between the cost efficiencies and the service qualities. Uh, your companies must, carefully evaluate the product times, right, and the customer expectations, right, supply chains capabilities to optimize this model effectively, right? Okay, another model that is direct shipping and in-transit mesh, right? You can see on the slide, on the pictures in the slide, right? Uh, that is direct shipping and in-transit mesh, right? This model, is a distribution strategies where products are stored at the manufacturer's facilities, right? And shipped directly to the customer. However, uh, unlike the standard direct shipping that we discussed above, just discussed, right? Multiple shipment from different manufacturers are consolidated by the carrier before final deliveries. Uh, It's different above model, right? This approach reduce the number of the separate deliveries. For example, customer receives, improving the customer experience, right? Let's also balance inventories agencies with reduced transportation costs, but require strong combinations and advanced information system to ensure the smooth operations. And we will explore the performance characteristics of distribution network, focusing on both cost efficiency and service qualities, right? And because you remember two factors affected by the distribution model. That is the cost factors and service factors, right? Now we focus on both cost factors and service factors. About cost factors, for example, inventory cost, that's similar to drop shipping, and that is above direct shipping, right? This model keeps the inventory cost low by reducing the needs for retailers' warehouses, right? And transportation cost, that's it's lower than direct shipping, drop shipping, right? These are offering the potential savings in a good movement while still allowing for direct deliveries. And how about another cost factor like facilities and handling costs? Right? Handling costs at the carriers is a higher, right? Higher than in a direct shipping. But receiving costs for customers are lower. This reflect the shift in handling costs and distributions, right? And the last cost we discussed here, that is information cost. In this model that's require higher investment in information system than direct shipping we discussed above, right? And as the coordination in the transit mode is very important for efficiency. How about service factors? Service factors here we see some factor like response times. Response time is slightly lower than dropshipping, but efficient coordinations in chances merge, right? Have minimized the delay, right? And product varieties, another factor, right? As similar broad range of products can be offered. And product availabilities are also compared to the dropshipping. That's ensuring high product availabilities is achievable. Right? And another service factor like customer experience that's better than dropshipping. As a customer receive the single consolidated deliveries instead of a multiple shipping, right? Uh, that that is enhance customer satisfaction uh, in this case, right? And time to market the same as the direct shipping above. This allow product to reach the market quickly, right? And all the visibilities require strong tracking system to maintain transparencies throughout the in-chain systems, right? This is higher investment, right? And abilities, return abilities that is similar to dropshipping model. Managing the product return follow the comparable process, right? So manufacturer stories with direct shipping and in-transit merge combined advantages of both dropshipping, that is direct shipping, right? And that is the optimized transportation costs while handling costs and redistributed uh, along the supply chains. Company must carefully evaluate how distribution to impact overall supply chains efficiency, right? And another model that is the distributor storage with a carrier delivery, right? Uh, that is a distribution model where product are stored at a distributor's or retailer warehouse, or distributor's warehouse, or retailer warehouse, rather than the manufacturer's facilities like the direct shipping, right? And that's when customer place an order. The product is shipped from the distributor warehouse using the third-party carrier, for example. Right? This approach reduces delivery times compared to manufacturer storage and provide better product availabilities as in stock is closer to customer. However, let's increase the inventory holding cost for distributors and retailers as they must manage a large stock to meet the demand, right? It's a higher inventories. It's a higher cost, right? It's the performance characteristics of a distribution network, examining the both cost and services the same with we discussed above, right? Cost factors and service factors. Cost factor, we have inventory factors. That's cost is inventory costs are higher than the manufacturer's storage. And difference is not significant for fast-moving item, but can be substantial for low-moving products. These are highlight the impact of inventories management on overall cost, right? And transportation cost that's lower than manufacturer storage, right? Especially for fast-moving products. Understanding these relationships is very important for strategic decision making. Facilities and handling costs are higher than manufacturers' storage, particularly for slow-moving items. Is you know balance must be found between this cost and benefits of having distributions in the supply chains, right? And information cost, that is information is infrastructures is simpler than in the manufacturer stores, right? Why this simplifies operations, this also requires careful coordinations, right? And how about service factors for this model? You can see on the table, response time that is faster than manufacturer storage, right? With the enhanced order fulfilled, the product qualities that's lower than manufacturer storage, meaning limited product range, but more efficient inventory management. And product availabilities, you can see here that is achieving high availability comes at a higher cost, of course, right? There's a trade-off between cost efficiencies and meeting the customer demands. That's the uncertainties demand. And customer experience better than manufacturer's storage, uh, because you know distribution facilities, order processing and delivery, and time to market is higher than manufacturer's storage, and reflecting trade-off between the faster response times and added complexities, and order visibilities easier than the manufacturer's storage cost, because these are simplified operations. And the last service factor, that is returnabilities, easier than the manufacturer storage, right? Which is a key advantage for customers satisfactions. So the distributor storage with carrier delivery model is balance cost and service factor, offering the advantage is a faster fulfillment, but require higher inventory costs. Deciding to include the distribution in the network involved to trace up between inventory costs and transportation efficiency, right? And services improvement. Further, uh, next model, we have a distributed storage with last mile deliveries. Right. Okay, with this model, uh, distributed storage with last mile deliveries. It's the distribution model where products are stored at the distributors or stored at the retailers warehouse, right? And then delivered directly to the customer. And this model commonly is used in, for example, e-commerce, right? Uh, Groceries, fast moving consumer goods, for example, right? That's quick delivers is a competitive advantage. Now, for example, Amazon, for example, uh, Shopee, Tiki, right? That is the this model, right? And inventories, you see, inventory cost is higher than distributors, storage with the package, the carriers, the deliveries. Transportation cost, very high cost due to minimal scale economies because that is you know sometimes you order only only one bottle water only, right? That is a small shipment. When transportation is a very high cost to delivery for the small shipment for you, right? More expensive than other distributions will option, right? And these facilities and handling is a higher facility cost and manufacturer storage, but lower than the retail storage, right? And service factor, you can see here, some service factor like response times is very fast, typically same days or next day deliveries, for example, right? And product variabilities, that's slightly lower than distributor storage with a package carrier deliveries. Product availabilities, and it's more expensive, right? More expensive to remain high availability compared to other models. And customer experience, you can see on the table, that is excellent, right? Especially for bulk orders. And time to market is faster than distributor storage with the package carrier deliveries. Order visibility is easier to track than a manufacturer storage, but less transparent than a package carrier deliveries. And returnability is more complicated, right? And more costly compared to a retail store, right? That model provides speed and control over the customer experience, but it's a high cost due to complex logistics and last mile delivery expenses, right? And the next model in distributions, that is manufacturers distributors with the customer pickup. Uh, this model, you can see this is the at the manufacturers or distributors facilities and then deliver to designated pickup size, right? For a customer to collect. This model is commonly used retail chains or grocery stores, e-commerce, click and collect service. Click and collect service um, market supermarkets. I think in the foreign the market is very familiar. So in Vietnam, I don't know, but for example, Australia, there's a click and collect service is very familiar. So e-commerce, the click and collect service, that's refer to shopping methods where customer purchase product online and pick them up at the physical store or designated to pick a point, uh, right? Instead of waiting for home deliveries, right? You buy through the website. That is the online, right? But You go to pick up the products at the physical store, not delivery to home for you, right? That is a e-commerce click and collect service. Right? And for this model, inventory cost is can match any model. That is depend on the inventory locations. Transportation cost is lower than package carrier deliveries, for example, right? That's especially when used an access network and facilities and handling cost is a high facility cost. Now, if a new pickup sites are built, but lower if existing sites are used, right? It's a handling cost at the pickup site can be significant. And information cost, require substantial investment in infrastructures and coordinations, right? So, how about service factor? That's response time, for example, comparable to package carrier deliveries with a same day pickup possible, right? For locally store item, for example. And product reliability, similar to manufacturers or distributor storage model. Right? And how about product availability? That's comparable to other distribution store model, right? And customer experience that is lower than home deliveries. As an experience depending the pickup size efficiency, right? And time to market. That's similar to manufacturer storage. Other visibilities, challenging but crucial for customer combinations, right? And return abilities easier than home deliveries. As a pickup location can handle returns, right? And this model, offer cost savings and flexibilities, but relied on strong infrastructures and strong combinations, right? It's a deal for high volume retails or deal that is very suitable for groceries, supermarket, right? E-commerce, quick and collect services for this model, right? So next slide. That is a retail store with a customer pickup. For this model, uh, a retail store with a customer pickup. That's a distribution model, where products are stored at the retail locations, right? A customer pick up their order directly from the store. This model is commonly used in a supermarket, department store, e-commerce click and collect service, right? And the same. That's for inventories. That is higher than the on order option due to stores at multiple retail locations, right? For example, you see Vinmart or Điện Máy Xanh, for example, right? There's many small stores everywhere. So inventories everywhere, right? Multiple retail locations, inventories everywhere. Every stores had retail locations. And transportation is lower than on other options because uh, products are already at the local store, right? And case is a higher cost compared to other models. as a handling at a pickup site can be significant, especially for online and phone order, for example, right? Inform costs, you know, that require investment in the system for online and phone order to ensure smooth processing. Right? And about service factors like response time, that's the same day pickup possible, right? Allowing customer to receive and product varieties lower than other model. At a retail locations that has limited stock, right? So that is a lower product varieties. For example, lower color is fewer colors or as it's fewer signs of the product, for example, right? And product availability is more expensive to maintain, right? And as a stores must ensure availabilities for in-store and online shoppers, right? And customer experience that depends on the customer perceptions. Some may prefer in-store shop. That is why others see it as an inconvenience, right? And time to market is faster. I think fastest, right? I think fastest among the on distribution model. And as a product already at the store, right? So very, very quick, very fast time to market. And other visibilities is easier for in-store purchases, but challenging for online and phone order, right? Returnability is easier than the other options because if you don't want any product, you can go to the supermarket and change it, right? Go to the stores, right? And change it or return is easy. As a store can offer substitutes and or returns directly, right? This model offers speed and convenience for customer, right? It requires strong inventories management and infrastructure investment, right? To support online order fulfillment. It's ideal for fast-moving consumer goods, supermarkets, or large retail chains. For example, 7-Eleven, VMart, that is the retail chains, right? About transportations, I think mm, we no need to discuss it. So, because transportation you discuss in the cost of international transportation and insurance, right? So I think we no need to discuss here. Transportations. Okay. We passed this one. Roles of transportation, relationship between transportation and logistics, transportation rates, and tariffs. As all of this um, idea, we will discuss on the uh, international transportations and insurance subjects. So we pass here, right? We skip it. For example, air freight, sea freight, road, water, inland waterway, rail, intermodals, or multi multimodals for transportations. And we discuss it in another subject. Pause, please. Okay, maybe we skip it. Okay, we talk about direct shipment to network to single destinations a little bit, right? Uh, for direct shipment to network to single destinations, that refer to distributions model where suppliers ship the product directly to individual buyer locations without intermediaries, right? Such as a warehouse or distribution center, for example. This model commonly used for large and high values and time sensitive shipment, and reducing the handling cost and delivery times. However, it may lead to high transportation costs due to the fragmented deliveries, right? Some advantages of this model, for example, a faster delivery times because the products go directly to buyer, right? And another advantage, you see lower handling and storage cost as a no warehouse that is needed, right, in this model. And some disadvantages of this model, you can see here, like higher transportation costs due to multiple small shipment, right? Multiple small shipment. It's a less considerations of shipments, making logistic management complex. And this model common applications for e-commerce business shipping directly from the manufacturers to the customer and perishable, both the industries such as fresh foods, right? Pharmaceuticals, right? Pharmaceuticals. That is require fast deliveries. We use this model, right? And direct shipping with meal grant. Meal grant is very familiar, let's say, in the delivery for supermarket, for example, right? Uh, there's the distribution strategies that optimize direct shipments by consolidating the multiple deliveries into a single transportation route, right? It's instead it's a supplier sending separate shipment to individual buyer locations. A single vehicle collect the product from the multiple suppliers and delivers them effectively to multiple buyer in one trip only, right? This approach reduce transport costs and improve the vehicle utilizations and minimize environment impacts, for example, right? Uh, Advantages of this model, uh, you can imagine, for example, lower transport costs, right? This compare direct shipping as multiple deliveries are combined, right? And improve vehicle utilizations by maximizing truckload efficiency, reduce congestions and environmental impact due to fuel cheap, right? And some disadvantages like longer delivery times, for example. Let's compare to direct shipping. Okay? There's a higher complexities in the planning routes and coordination shipment. There's common application, retails and groceries supply chains, as where multiple supplier delivers a product to various stores in one run only. Okay? And automotive manufacturing industry, for example, as the components that different suppliers consolidate for production for this model. And another model that is on shipment by intermediate centers with the storage, like cross-docking, cross-docking, right? And that's distributions uh, strategies where all shipment from suppliers are first sent to intermediate distribution centers before being delivered to final buyers, right? These distribution centers can either store inventories for later deliveries or immediately short and transfer shipment. And that is cross-docking, right? To reduce storage time, right? And some advantages like improve transportation efficiencies by consolidating the um, shipment or reduce lead time through faster processing and shopping, optimize the inventories management by centralizing the stock at the distribution center, for example. But some disadvantages like higher operational costs due to maintaining the distribution center, right? That's the potential delay if not well coordinated. And for example, this model apply for a retail supply chains like Walmart, like Amazon, right? That's where products are stored in the distribution centers before reaching the stores or reaching the customer. Right? That's the e-commerce and fast-moving consumer goods. That is streamlined distributions and meet the customer demands efficiently. Right? Shift by DC, shift by distribution centers, but using Miran, right? It's a combined two model. That's these distribution strategies where shipment from multiple suppliers, right? That's first sent to distribution centers, then delivered to buyer through the milk run systems. Instead of sending separate shipment to each buyer, deliveries grouped and optimized into a single route covering the multiple locations, for example, right? Some advantages like improve transportation efficiency by consolidate multiple deliveries in for few trips, right? Let's reduce costs by optimizing truck capacities and minimize the entire return trip, okay, for example, right? Uh, um, Enhance inventory management, right? And disadvantages, require advanced coordination to ensure delivery routes are optimized. Potential delays if a route plan is not efficient or unforeseen disruptions, right? And for this model, like um, retail distribution network where centralized warehouse supply multiple store efficiently, right? And automobile, for example, VinFast, Toyota, for example, and manufacturing supply chains, where components for different suppliers. Let's consolidate before delivery to assembly plants. Okay, maybe this one. Uh, this one exercise, I think we skip because we have many exercise. So thực ra cái phần bài tập này các bạn nó cũng cũng hay đấy, nhưng mà nhiều bài tập quá rồi. Chúng ta còn một chương 5 mà chúng ta pass á, chúng ta sẽ quay lại đó, thì là nó cũng là bài tập về inventories. Còn cái phần bài tập này thì nó liên quan đến cái phương pháp mà để tối ưu hóa, à, tối ưu hóa quãng đường, tối ưu hóa à, phân phối, ừm, dựa trên các cái ràng buộc đó này. Có một số những cái ràng buộc, ví dụ ràng buộc về tài nguyên, à, đấy. À, nói chung là nó cũng hay, tính toán tối ưu. Nhưng mà thôi, chắc chúng ta bỏ trong cái chương trình này, nó nhiều quá rồi. Mình mình mà cứ đâm đầu vào mấy cái bài tập này nữa thì chúng ta sẽ không còn thời gian nữa. Okay, what time is it now? In Australia, it's 9:49. 9:49. That's fine. Oh, good. That is 5:49, right? 5:50. Sorry, there's a lot of times. Okay, maybe we're finished here, right? See you today, right? Bye.